All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coaching Sampler. I'm Amy Pearson, for those of you who don't know me, and I have a very loud dog. Can you guys hear her? She is loud. Anyway, this is the Coaching Sampler, and if you don't know me, again, I'm Amy Pearson, and I'm over at Live Brazen. Okay, good. And this is week 5 of the Coaching Sampler. We've been at this now for 5 weeks. And my intention behind the Coaching Sampler has been to just get us together. Like, I feel like it's been a while since I've done any teaching and interacting with my community. So I wanted to get together, and I wanted to provide some value, and I wanted to continue sort of this sense of community. I really feel like it's important to be intentional about who we surround ourselves with. And so I create opportunities where I can to make that happen, because I have found in my own life that being around people who are looking to be in a positive vibration and do good things and feel good, they always make a difference in terms of me and my outcomes and my happiness and my belief in my own self and what I'm capable of. And also, I just wanted to give a kind of a sample of what coaching is like and what kind of tools. Hello, I can see you. I love it. And give a kind of a sense of what coaching looks like in my world, what kind of tools I use. And so I have recorded the sessions, and they're over at livebrazen.com/demos, I believe. I couldn't remember what it was last time. I'm going to type the link in the chat here. Demos. I believe that's it. And so you can go and you can check out the other tools that I've used and demoed. I have a lot of other tools in my toolbox, but these are some of the fundamental ones. And and I also just wanted to create an opportunity for people to get some coaching, even if it is through osmosis, when you are hearing others being coached. So we have a small group right now. Hopefully people will join. We've had a pretty good number over the weeks. We have one more demo next week, and next week we'll be talking about dreams and dream analysis. So now we've sort of left the realm of we've exited the realm of the left brain, and we're going into the right brain. And last week was a really fun class on using metaphor and how you can use metaphor to kind of tap into your inner wisdom. And so what I wanted to do today is I wanted to continue to look at sort of metaphor in a new way and see if that could provide some insight into what it is that we want to bring more of into our lives. And so this is less of a let's look at specific thoughts and let's take that thought under the microscope and deconstruct it. And this is more open-ended today. But the thing is, I actually don't have a volunteer. So, and it's a very small group today. So I don't know if anyone here, is it Sailor? Is that how you pronounce your name? Or Daria, if you are interested. I know S is needing to stay kind of as a listener because she has some work stuff going on that in the background. So I don't know if either of you are interested in being a volunteer.
I could be a guinea pig.
Okay, yay, thank you. I mean, I totally just put you on the spot.
I do that to people too, so.
I love it. I love it. All right, so good. Thank you so much. So yeah, we're gonna use a tool called the Ideal Day. But before we do that, I wanted to just share a little bit about me for those of you who are new to me. A lot of you know me because I've really only shared this series with my my mailing list and folks on my mailing list. So a lot of you probably know, you've been reading my stuff, and I tend to be pretty out there in terms of, myself on that in that community. But just a little background about me is I have been coaching now for 10 years. I started actually as a cadet in 2009, and I've also been master's certified. This is all through Martha Beck. And I became a trainer through on behalf of Martha Beck and her certification program. I believe it was in 2011. And so a lot of the tools that I'm demoing today are tools that I actually teach. And let's see, I'm going through a rebranding process right now. So a lot of my programs that are available for purchase are not available right now. I'm rebranding and it's really fun. It's all kind of happening. I'm expecting everything to go live in January, the first of the year. So it's super exciting, but yeah, for the time being, things are a little bit in flux. But I have been a very successful, is successful in the terms of, I guess, revenue generation and having a full calendar. I really was interested in how do coaches, life coaches, actually make money at this. And I really struggled for many years being profitable in my business. And so I felt that I had solved that puzzle. And so I was earning multiple six figures, and I was working with coaches and teaching them how to do that. But then the way I really got my start was that I realized that in my own life, one of the things that was keeping me sort of stuck and unhappy was that I was obsessed with getting other people to see me in a certain way, wanting other people to approve of me, really feeling terrified of any kind of judgment. And that really impacted every part of my life. And so I created this term, sort of tongue-in-cheek, that I was an approval addict. And so that's really where I got my start. And that's what I started in terms of working with people. But I really feel like the topics and the content that I created there really translated well into my work with entrepreneurs, because a lot of times when we are entrepreneurs, 100% of the time, we're expected to do things that scare us. We're expected to be out there and visible in vulnerable ways and really play far outside of our comfort zone. And so that really is something that, someone who struggles with wanting approval, the people pleasers, or just people who are very sensitive about any kind of judgment, those are the people who really struggle with entrepreneurship as well. And so those were areas of focus for me in my business and where I worked with women. And then, I realized I had this insight that, oh my gosh, here I am, I've really hit my goals in my business. And yet I still struggle because this whole time, it doesn't seem like it's ever good enough. And that is the pattern. I realized that I was still, even though I had created some really amazing content and had created this amazing business, I was still struggling with the same shit that I had been struggling with before, just in different ways. And so I had to take a step back and really take some time off. And I'm really, here I am. This is me having come back from all that. And I've been working on a book. I've been writing a memoir, and have really enjoyed that process. And so the rebrand is going to be more of the same, but also just insights into other things, insights into my life, insights into what it means to me to grow older, what it means for me to be a mother, what it means for me to be someone who's in recovery from alcohol addiction, someone who, whatever. I'm just going to write about stuff and tell the truth. And so that's what my new brand is all about. And it's going to be called Being Amy. And the book is called Forgiving Amy. So that is the direction I'm headed, and it's really exciting. So that's me. And you kind of know the series. It's for you if you're really looking for new tools, if you're looking to get a sense of what coaching is about, if you're looking for community and really exposure to women, and feel like, you want some inspiration and to be around some high vibe people. So today, what I want to do is I want to use a tool called the Ideal Day. Now, I don't know how familiar you all are with Martha Beck and her work, but one of the books that I recommend, if you haven't checked it out, is her book called Finding Your Own North Star. I'll write it in the chat. And in this book, she writes about something called the change cycle. It's brilliant. So what she says is that we kind of she's created this model. It's like 4 squares. And basically what she says is that we're sort of in our lives, in different areas of our lives, we're kind of cycling through this change cycle. And there's 4 squares, and the first square is square one. Basically, whenever you've had some circumstance happen in your life and you feel like you're back to square one, kind of like where you don't know what the hell is going on, and you're just having to adapt to a whole new way of being, that's square one. And it could be that some catastrophic circumstance sent you there, or it could be that, your life was just kind of starting to get so uncomfortable that you had to make a big change. But that happens often, and we find ourselves in square one. For me, I'm back in square one with my coaching business. It's awesome, really. I'm comfortable right now with it, although it's not usual. It's not very common to feel comfortable in square one. Actually, I think it's because I'm just embracing the challenge of it. I'm back to square one in my house. We moved to a totally new city this summer, so I'm back to square one there. My kids started a new school. I'm in square 4 with my marriage. And so square 4 is it's like the very last square in the cycle. It's like the square where you're like, you've kind of hit a groove, you know what I mean? And you kind of got it. You feel like you got it. Now I'll say that with caution, because, but we have been married for 26 years and we're pretty happy. So I feel like square 4 is good characterization where we are marriage-wise. Now, square 2 is what we're going to focus on today. Square 2 is where you done a lot of the square 1 work. So square 1 work is really about dealing with a lot of the grief that is associated with square 1, because square 1, oftentimes you have to let go of a lot, right? Because you were sent to square 1, or you gave up something, or you made a major change. So you have to really deal with the letting go process, and that is really about grief. So it's about processing those feelings, but it's also about addressing whatever painful thoughts and stories you have associated with being in this new existence. So that's the work of square 1. Now, as you're sort of doing the work of square 1, you start to slowly move into square 2. Now, square 2 is the square of dreaming and scheming. So it's really about, what do I want? How do I want my life to look like? How do I want my business to look like? In whatever area, what do I want my relationship to look like? And you start to feel hopeful. Maybe I am in square 2 with my business. But anyway, I'm straddling that place, of square 1 and square 2, where it's like, what do I want this to look like? What are my dreams associated with this? It's very much in the head. You're still in your head about things, but you're opening yourself up to possibility. So it's a really exciting and hopeful place to be. So I think I'm in square 2 with my business. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do some work with square 2 today, because in my coaching series, if you haven't been able to participate, we've done a lot of the square 1 tools, and I have demonstrated those. And so just so I'm kind of continuing to finish the explanation of this change cycle, square 3 is the square where you've done the work of square 2, which is really about dreaming and scheming and coming up with plans and thinking about what you want and what does that look like. And then you start to come up with some, an action plan. So square 3 is the work of actually doing. It's like you're doing the work now. You're trying to make those dreams a reality. And so I love working with women in square 3, because it's a very terrifying place to be for a lot of us, because square 3 is really about taking action. And often, because we're taking action to try to build something that is new, it can be terrifying. It's a very uncomfortable place to be. Oftentimes your actions that you take don't go the way you think they're going to go. And a lot of us want to give up on ourselves or give up on our dreams. And so we'd like to go back to square one. But I really enjoy working with women on staying the course in square three. And so that's, I would say, one of my strengths as a coach is helping women with the square three stuff. In here where, you know, like a lot of times we'll get in our head about, oh my God, this is crazy. It's too uncomfortable and I don't want to do it. But today we're going to look at square two, and we're going to do it using a tool called the Ideal Day. Now, the Ideal Day is really just me taking you through an ideal day. And so what and Saylor's going to be my volunteer for this one, and we're going to demonstrate together. But the thing to know about the ideal day is that you guys can do this on your own. So this is a wonderful metaphor tool. Last week was a little bit trickier. You can do metaphor tool on your own, but a lot of people struggle with that one unless they have someone to help them facilitate it. But this one is a good one. You can do this one on your own after this demo. And so what you need to know first is that this is really, there's no limitations here, okay? This is not about being practical or realistic, okay? And a lot of times what will happen when I ask my clients to start to dream and think about everything that they found, you know, like think about things that make them feel so amazing. It's like all of a sudden the logical mind wants to come in and go, no, that's not practical. That's not realistic. You don't have enough money. The kids need to ride to soccer, you know, and all that, right? And so what I want you to get is that you don't have to worry about that. You don't even have to have the kids in your ideal day, okay? Just between you and me, like you can just, they don't even have to be there. And it's okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad mom. Your husband doesn't have to be in there, you know, like your dog, none of it. You don't even have to worry about your dog. And you can go anywhere, you can do anything. This is all for you, and it's your fantasy, okay? And so that's what I want to do, is just kind of just give you permission to let it be whatever you want it to be and just play, right? Without logical mind going, no, and shutting it down, okay? And if logical mind wants to do that, then it's okay. And what you want to do, if logical mind just keeps going in and going, no, 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 is you want to start just like writing down what logical mind says, okay? So like if you are saying, oh, in my ideal day, I'm waking up in Hawaii, and logical mind is like, you can't afford to go to Hawaii right now. Then you just write down what logical mind is saying to you, and just let that be a side note, because that's all really good information. Those are thoughts. They're the thoughts that we worked with in demo 1 and demo 2 that you can kind of take under the microscope and you can work with them, okay? So it doesn't mean logical mind's wrong. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're being unrealistic. It's just that right now we don't really want logical mind to get in the way, and we'll write it down. We'll take notes with it. All right. So let's see, anything else I want to say about ideal day? So after I walk Saylor through ideal day, we are going to take a look at what she said, and we're going to then look at that data, and we're going to see what it can reveal to us about what Saylor is looking for more of in her life, okay? And it doesn't have to look exactly like what she said, okay? And so I actually need something that I can use to take notes with. I'm gonna grab that. It's actually been a while since I've done this tool, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be a good refresher for me too. And I actually, you know, honestly, you guys, one of the things that I like to do every year is I like to do an ideal day exercise where I go through and I look at what my ideal day is, and it changes every time. And then I work with it every year kind of as a new way for me to get some clarity about what it is that I, like my essential self is what we call it in Martha Beck speak, wants. So it's a really wonderful kind of exercise for everyone to do at least once a year, if not more frequently. All right, so Sailor, are you ready? Okay, she's unmuted.
I'll be ready once we're done.
Yay. Well, you know, it's funny because when I'm working with my entrepreneurs, I always say, write the word ready down and then cross it out because you are never ready. Don't ever wait to be ready because you will never do anything. All right. What was I going to say? I was going to say, oh, does anybody else have any questions for me before we dive in here? Usually people are pretty quiet, but I always want to say, you guys feel free if you have questions or type them in the chat. Okay, good. I started the recording. I almost forgot to do that. So Sailor, yeah, do you want to first tell me a little bit about yourself? I feel like this is the first time that I've met you.
I was going to say, we've not done any work before other than I received some emails.
Yeah, so. Okay, so you've never worked with a coach or anything?
I've worked with coaches. I don't know that I've worked with anybody that does Martha Beck. Okay. I do a lot of access consciousness work.
Ooh, tell me about that. I've never heard of that.
It's a lot about asking questions without significance of the answer, going with the energy. Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing. Maybe this is a little bit like that. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. So I'm just going to have you, let's see. You know what I'm going to have you do, Sailor, is I'm going to have you turn your video off. I'll keep mine on because what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes for me. That way you'll be able to kind of visualize better your ideal day as opposed to just being distracted by things happening here by my video and everybody else's video. So go ahead and turn your video off. Are you able?
I can. I will say closing my eyes is more of a distraction for me than leaving my eyes open.
Leaving your eyes open.
And if you would like, I'm more than happy to close my eyes and or turn the video off, whatever. I'm willing to participate in this.
Well, you're more than welcome to keep your eyes open if you know that about yourself. So it's totally fine by me. Okay. So it's funny because when I meditate, there's this one, this is just a footnote, is they ask me to open my eyes for certain meditations and I just don't like it. I'm like, I wanted my eyes closed. So I'm projecting what works for me on you, clearly.
Well, and most people do. Just in my practice, it's been when we close our eyes, we go out versus staying present. So if going out is where you would like me to go, I can do that too.
Well, let's see. Let's just play, right? That's what this is all about. It's just in the spirit of play.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you to, again, that there are really no limitations here. So we're just going to wake up. It's going to be like you woke up from sleep. And so I'm going to have you just describe your surroundings for me in this ideal situation. You can be anywhere. You aren't necessarily in your house unless your room right now is your ideal room. But I want you to wake up and I want you to describe to me what you're really is like what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what you're sensing, where you are, just kind of, and I'll just keep asking you questions, okay? But just start us off by kind of describing what it's like for you to wake up in this ideal space on your ideal day.
Okay. Opening eyes, and as I open my eyes, I see a room that is kind of an eggshell color, plastered walls, a lot of wood decor, wooden furniture. It's Mediterranean in style. As I look out the window, they're kind of rounded at the top and then come down with stone at the bottom. And there's rolling hills, vineyards. Kind of reminds me of the pictures I've seen that people have painted of the vineyards in, landscape of the vineyards in Italy.
Love
or
it.
In France.
Feels European.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And what's the weather like?
Sunny.
Mm.
Well, yeah, sunny. I say I usually wake up pretty early, so it wouldn't be too sunny at that time, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's my projecting my own stuff in there in the moment.
Do you enjoy waking up early?
I do. I like
Okay.
waking up with the
Me
sun.
too. I like to wake up early, but
Yeah.
sometimes I like to sleep in. But yeah, so I was just checking in about that one.
Right.
So what's the temperature like? So are you still, let's say you're still in bed and you're kind of like just opening your eyes. Describe for me your bed, describe your sheets, describe the temperatures and sensations that you're experiencing.
It's low 60s.
Mm.
The windows open. I can feel the breeze coming in.
Mm.
The sheets are a really yummy, soft cotton
Mm-hmm.
and kind of slick, slippery on my skin.
Mm-hmm.
My arms are out. I can feel the breeze on my arms and on my face and moving through the little hairs on my body.
Ah, I love it.
Yeah. Um,
We're all in bed here with you. We're like, oh, we want to be in your ideal day. You turn around and you see Amy. And
it's a big bed. Come on
yeah.
in, gent. And I'm just being there with me, running some energy, doing some energy work with my body, appreciating my body, saying hello to my body, saying hello to the earth, having gratitude for all that is
Mm.
in my world and what I would and what I'm asking for, the energy of what I've been asking for without a specific of how it's showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So and enjoying that kind of, yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
here, I'm present, I feel the breeze, it's warming up outside and coming into the room, the sunlight's coming in. Somebody's making coffee or fixing breakfast somewhere. I can smell it.
Okay, I was going to ask if there's anybody else around.
The sense is there's somebody downstairs,
Okay.
quietly milling around.
Mm.
A housemaid, a visitor.
Mm.
Maybe I'm visiting. It's whoever owns the house. It's not somebody that's gotten out of bed with me. Or,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, got it. And you're now, well, I should ask, are you ready to get out of bed in your ideal day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are you like? What are you doing? Like, what's the first thing? I would imagine in my own ideal day that I'd be heading to the bathroom, but what
Yeah.
are you going to do?
I can go do the S's in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Get me ready for the day.
Take a look in the mirror and
Okay.
see if you notice anything notable about what you're seeing in the reflection.
Joy, radiance, smiles, bright eyes. Um, none of the usual little creases and things that I see in my own mirrors
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sense of really being at peace. Having let go of a lot of the to-dos
Mm.
and being in the flow of what's next and asking, so what is up, what do I want to do today, what is up for today, and today is going horseback riding.
Ooh, okay.
I want to go out and ride the countryside.
Beautiful. Now, to prepare for horseback riding, I don't know if you have a closet there or if you have drawers or maybe a suitcase, but take a look at wherever your clothes, your articles of clothing are being stored, and take a look through and describe for me that space and what you notice there.
So there's an armoire.
Mm-hmm.
with some shirts and dresses hanging, some pants. There's some shoes in the bottom. The riding shirt that I want to wear today with the white collar, blue body is in there. So I'm going to pull that out. There's a dresser on another wall, actually next to the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Mediterranean in design.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go open the drawer, top drawer, pull out a camisole, second drawer, pull out riding pants and a belt, some socks.
Now, when you're looking through your clothes, is there anything different that you notice, or is it pretty much the same kind of stuff that you would be wearing now? Colors, styles, textures?
Some different textures. Probably more whites.
Mm-hmm.
Some raw silks. Some really fine cotton, like not Oxford, but button-down shirts. Things I can play with the collar with, turn it up, turn it down.
Mm. Okay.
And still some bright colors, like because I also love bright colors.
Okay. What colors are you seeing?
I see probably less colors than I would in my own closet here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More muted colors, some browns.
Okay.
In addition to the whites.
Okay. So you're going horseback riding. Let's say you have dressed. Let me ask, are you dressed for horseback riding? Are you getting dressed for horseback riding now? Or are you going to go and get some breakfast? What are you doing?
I'm pretty much dressed. I have everything except the boots on. They're downstairs at the door. I'm going to go down and get coffee, some eggs and bacon, and whatever locally is available.
Okay. Now, can you describe for me the space where the food is, and did you prepare it? Did that mysterious someone milling around quietly prepare it?
It's being handed to me on a plate.
Oh, yes.
Yes. There are colorful tiles on the wall. They don't all match, and some of them are without color, more of a white or an eggshell color. Lots of blues, blue and white, there's yellow, there's orange, there's some red in different designs, bordered along the either wood coming up or the countertop or just the middle of the wall, these borders going all the way around in the tile, backsplashes for the stove, the sink area with the tiles.
What's the space like? How does it feel to you? What's the energy of the space like?
It's spacious. It's uncluttered. It's open.
Okay.
I can see out doorways both directions. There's a door open at one end, or a really big window that I can see out of and see the hills. I can see the rooftop of the barn. I can hear birds and chickens outside.
And are you sitting there eating breakfast right now?
Right now, I'm just kind of in awe at the view, the expansiveness, the spaciousness, the ease, the quietness. the lack of noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the lack of noise in my own head. Many times, which is what I'm picking up from others versus my own noise. And some of it's my own noise.
Yeah, got it. So, I was gonna ask, what are you gonna do now?
I'm gonna sit down and eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you eating inside or outside?
I was looking at the table inside and thinking, do I really want to eat inside? I'm going to go out to the terrace. There's a terrace out that walkway at that door that I was seeing before with the view. So walking down it flops back and forth between an old wooden floor and a like a terracotta colored tile floor. And out the door to the terrace. Like, there is a low wall around the terrace and a wrought iron a teal colored wrought iron table and chairs with flowers on them, some white and yellow with a red center, and some other flowers. I'm not sure what they are, but they're very pretty.
And what does it feel like out there? Are you smelling the flowers? Are you feeling the temperature? What do you notice viscerally when you're sitting out there with your breakfast?
I'm feeling the sun on my skin, on the clothes that I'm wearing. I'm aware of the chair as I'm sitting in it, my feet on the tile on the terrace. My arms resting on the wrought iron table and the hardness of that. The breeze, hearing the birds and the chickens. I can hear the horses, some of them nickering back and forth to each other, cows off in a distance. Some workers in a field. Yeah.
So let's say as you're sitting there and you're eating your breakfast and you're experiencing the terrace, you're thinking about the plan for the day and you know you're going to go horseback riding. Tell us a little bit about what the plan is, and is it you solo horseback riding? Are you going to be meeting anyone? Is there any other plan after that? Just kind of give us a sense of what you are looking forward to in the day.
It's a solo ride. There are several horses to choose from. There's a beautiful, many horses to choose from, so that'll be a decision. I think I'll have to ask who's calling for me to come play with them. I'm going to go out for an hour or so and then come back, and somebody's coming for lunch. So there will be changing clothes into something a little less conformed with my body and a little more free-flowing and airy. Yeah.
Do you have a sense of this person coming for lunch, do you have a sense of what their relationship is to you?
I get that it's somebody prospective that I will be working with. Something to do with business. It could be multiple possibilities in there. Let's see, is it horse related? Is it energy related? So it's having to do with some of the classes that I would be facilitating in the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so given that this is your ideal day and you can choose whatever and whoever you want to associate with, how are you feeling about this lunch with this individual?
Interesting. I was going to say very, very at ease and peaceful, but there's an energy, an underlying energy, at least in my body right now, of I'd say a little bit of intensity, anxiousness, intensity, excitement. There's some anxiousness there. Yeah.
Now, is curious. I'm just kind of. I'm going to stay here a minute because I'm curious. Is this person, this possible prospective business person, is this something that you guys are working on, and is this how tap into how you're feeling about this project or whatever class is? How are you feeling about that?
It's new beginning this with them. So it's she's is going to be a host or a co-facilitator. We're going to talk about the classes we would like to create there, what the people are willing to receive and what they're asking for, what the land would like to be brought, the possibility of a venue where we would like to do that. Yeah.
And how does it feel?
Really exciting. Very enlivening.
You look giddy.
Yeah, but my body is just like effervescent bubbles running through it, like somebody opened a champagne bottle. Yeah.
All right. Well, for the sake of just kind of where we are in time, how about we say you've had your meeting, you've had your lunch. I know we're skipping through lunch, but talk to me. Tell me a little bit about how you're wrapping up your day. Anything is possible. This is your day, and you get to choose whatever you want. So talk to me a little bit about how you're going to wrap this day up.
So we've had the chance to chat, to have lunch, to get to know each other a little better. The energy connection, talking about possibility of venues. There's a couple places we're going to go look at this week. I'm going to write up some descriptions for some of the classes that I will be more responsible for leading, so to speak. She will write up some of her own and message those back and forth to each other, suggestions of tweaking, come up with some banners, flyers, sort of things. So some of the marketing stuff underneath. And during the week, go and look at venues. The following week, get together again, and then see what we have to bring to the table. And then go from there for finding other people to host, post. Yeah.
Okay.
And what it looks like if we have found a venue then, and if not, next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, so how do you say goodbye to the day? What else, is there anything else that you do after the meeting?
Go for a walk. Have dinner with whoever else is in the house.
Okay.
Sit out on the patio, watch the sun go down.
Okay.
Take a long, hot bubble bath.
I love that. I'm going to do that after this, actually.
And drink something yummy. I'm not quite sure what it would be, but yeah, maybe some sparkling water with some fruit in it or some fruit juice. Yeah,
I want to just like check in with you about your horseback ride real fast. How was that for you?
It was fun to be out by myself, out communicating with the horse and back that and the land. Meeting some of the neighboring people that were out working and just saying hi, chatting, introducing myself to those I didn't already know. Yeah, it was sweet.
Okay, well, I'm going to take you out of this, my dear.
Okay.
How was it for you?
Fun, enlivening, spacious, expansive. And I've had a lot of classes scheduled abroad, and because of some of the things I've just gone through, I've pulled out of the international stuff, and I'm doing the local.
Okay.
Local in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no.
Yes, yeah. You can tell, right?
Yeah.
That's what your essential self is going.
Yeah, and we're going to Italy in January. So whether
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I got some goosebumps here. Like they're like, look at that.
Yeah.
My spidey goosebumps are coming up. Yeah, so I mean, it was beautiful. I really enjoyed being there with you, like as a fly in the wall. It's kind of fun. I feel like whenever I do this exercise, I like to just hop on people's ideal day. So thank you, and you're very you got right into it. I loved it. So yeah, I mean, really, I feel like the ideal day is an extension for those of you who were able to participate last week. What I did last week was we talked about more of a problem, a struggle that someone had, and then I had them get an image, and then we just took it as a metaphor and allowed that image to speak to solutions and perspectives in terms of whatever the struggle was. And so this is really an extension of that, just a little bit of a different scale. I mean, we could go for, we could go for the entire hour. We could go even longer and get into more specifics, but really I see it as a metaphor for what it is that your heart desires. And so I really feel like it's a beautiful exercise. And you already noticed that you are really feeling, tell me where I'm wrong, but you're feeling called to get back overseas. Yeah. And I mean, for me, my role in this is really just to, as a facilitator and write notes and see if there are things that I see coming up as a theme. But before I even start there, what else did you notice? What did you make of all this, considering that it is really just an exercise in helping to remind you of what it is your heart is asking for?
Mostly that. And that I'm basically already there. So it's creating what I require for that to actualize.
Yeah, it sounds like it's interesting because when I was listening to you and you were kind of chatting about the meeting and this discussions you were having, it was like you were going into the specifics about what I need to do, what we need to plan. And so that's really if we're kind of thinking about this in terms of the change cycle, you're ready to start getting into action. It sounds like you're starting to get into the square three work.
Yeah. Well, I've just come out of 4 years of caring for somebody else.
Okay.
And the last year doing more, curating these classes and getting back into facilitating. And 3 weeks ago, I left that relationship, and I
Okay.
walked away with basically what I could get in my car.
Wow. Wow.
So I am starting anew.
Yeah.
Everything's new.
Wow.
And it feels light. Every time I check in, did I make a mistake? Nope.
Yep.
Do not go back.
It feels
Keep
like the
going.
right thing.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, as far as themes that I noticed, I mean, and it sounds like a lot of this is already there in your world right now. But a lot of times what I'll do with clients is I'll identify themes, and then we'll kind of talk about, well, how can you bring that into your life now? Maybe it isn't a trip to Italy, or maybe it isn't I don't know, like an Airstream trailer, but what can we do to bring the energy of that into your life right now? And so for those of you who are listening to this recording, or for those of you who are here with me live, as you do this exercise, it isn't necessarily that you need to buy a ticket to go to Italy. For Sailor, it might be, but it could be that you are looking for more adventure in your life. And that could be just, for me, heading out, down the street and getting on a trail, on a trail that I've never been, and doing some hiking. And so that's what I want you guys to be thinking about as you practice this exercise and do your own ideal day. What are themes, and how can I bring the energy of that into my life? So for you, Sailor, there was just so much, there was a lot of peaceful symbology. It's like the colors and the I like just the vibe that you were getting, and it just felt very peaceful. And for some people that could be coming up, but their life could be totally chaotic, right? Like they could be they could be not taking any time for themselves. They could be, living in a full household. And so for those people who have like a lot of peaceful imagery coming up, and they don't feel like they have a peaceful life, then that means looking for ways to be creative about bringing that vibration back into their life. And so for you, I saw a lot of that. There was a lot of nature, and there was a lot of just it was interesting because there was interaction with other people, but it was also felt like there was a lot of personal space. Like it felt like you had a lot of solitude, and personal space, and your own independence in it. It's like there are people, but I have my own sort of, I'm doing this the way I want to do it. Like I'm going to interact with these people, but it's going to be on my terms. And so it was like you still had people, but you also had a lot of, I don't know, like your own space.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else did I notice? Just a lot of nature. The work with horses. And I don't know, do you work with horses in your life?
Yeah.
I figured.
That's part of my recreating, because one of my horses is going back to my daughter, and the other one I am selling, because for right now there's just not the time and space in my life, unfortunately. So I'm and I'm really good at finding other people's horses to play with.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's one of the things on my list.
Yeah.
In the next couple of weeks is to find that here, because this is a brand new place for me.
So bringing back the horses and incorporating that into your life. Let's see. Sounds like it sounded to me in this image that you were traveling somewhere, and it was a space where someone was hosting you. Did you get a sense of that at all? Or was it, and that someone was there kind of taking care of you, like providing meals for you, and you weren't focused a lot on that part, but you were enjoying just having having someone sort of providing that for you.
Yes. Yeah. And also the autonomy or the space to either do it for myself and or co-create or do for somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. And it sounds like, you know, something when we were talking about your meeting, your lunch meeting, you noted that the new sort of partnership that was forming, that the project was very exciting, and I felt that giddiness like right away. So exciting. There was a little bit of like anxiety, or trying to check in and see, was this excitement, is this anxiety? They're very similar vibrations. And so it's, you know, it's interesting. Like it's just something that you noticed, you know, I'm going to do this and it's very exciting. And yeah, this part of it is just, you know, it's a little bit new and it's a little bit scary, and that's okay. You can tell me where I'm wrong, but this is kind of what I was picking up on, was that was what you're experiencing. And
it was, yeah. And I'm always asking, is this mine, or am I picking up on somebody else's stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so did you feel like it was yours, or did you feel like it was you just being empathic?
You know, the intensity around excitement, I definitely know is mine. And I think for the other person, there was a little bit of both of that going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, when we're super sensitive and we can tune into that, sometimes that can be uncomfortable for us, you know, like if we feel like someone else has anxiety, it's like, oh, now, you know, like I know a lot of us, one of our patterns is that we will get into that caretaker stuff, you know, and it's like, so that can also be anxiety provoking. So those are things that's really interesting, you know, just to be aware of, that it came up, you know, and that, that it's there and it is what it is, but that it's still, you know, you moving forward with something that is really important and exciting for you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Anything else that you noticed here to speak to kind of where your heart is telling you want to go?
There's the awareness that there's the, you know, what I am required doing to get to that point, or whatever point that might be, whether it's going there or someplace else. The action steps.
Yeah.
Just in my everyday life.
Right.
To get there. Yeah.
Yeah, you were very specific with the action steps. Like you were very focused in on those. And so it sounds like your heart is ready. Like you're ready to like start moving, like start getting into action. And that feels like something for you to get started on. Your heart's like, let's go, come on. It's time, let's go, shake it up. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, it sounds like there's some collaboration potentially in the works, and some lots of doing, and some potential travel and work with animals, and specifically horses back in your life. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know, what was the other thing? Well, just more of the same in terms of, you know, I think it also sounds like it's a kind of a confirmation, a validation of kind of where you are and where you are energetically. So I don't know, that's where I am with this. It was beautiful.
Thank you, and for the process and walking me through that.
Oh yeah, thank you. I loved it. And you're such a good, like you said, like with the eyes open, I could see you were really able to get there and take us with you. So thank you for taking us all on that, and for being willing to demonstrate that with me and being put on the spot like that. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So that is the ideal day, you guys. And it's going to look different depending on the person, you know? And so it's, you know, one of the things I like to do when I facilitate Ideal Day in a group setting is that I have a volunteer that we walk through, and we do it together, and we look at what is, you know, what the heart is asking for and how we can bring that in. And sometimes with some people, it's more problem solving. I mean, Sailor's very, she has already a great sense of kind of what that might look like and how that might work, because she, like we talked about, she's straddling square 2 and square 3. She is there ready to get going. And for some people, they're back in square one and they're kind of tiptoeing or in like poking at square two, you know? And so that means that it might require, you know, a little bit of problem solving. Okay, well, what would this look like in your life right now? How can we bring this in? What are some ideas and how can we do that creatively? Sometimes it requires some problem solving. And like I said before, sometimes when you do the ideal day, there's that part of your mind, that logical part of your mind that wants to give you all the reasons why it can't work, or remind you of all the, maybe you have a very realistic sort of practical part of you that wants to, you know, have an exact plan, or, you know, so sometimes we have to work through that and we have to go back and we have to revisit some of the square one tools. So, and when I do this in a group setting, when I have a coaching setting, a lot of times I have folks share their ideal day, go away and do it, and then share it with the group. So it's a wonderful activity that works really well in group coaching settings. So yeah, let me know, you guys. Please feel free to email me, pearson.amy@gmail.com. I really, really love to hear how this is going for you. Reminder that the other sessions are available at livebrazen.com demos. I am full as far as one-on-one coaching. I don't have any availability for a couple more months, but if you are interested, I really haven't marketed this to my larger community yet, but I wanted to let you know that I am starting a group coaching program. And so if you have any interest in that, then I would love to chat with you about that and see if you'd be a fit for the group. It's going to be a very small group coaching sort of mentorship type of engagement, very similar to what we've been doing here. So if you have any questions about that, or you'd like to set up a time to talk about it, please feel free to send me an email. And otherwise, I hope you enjoyed today. Thank you again to Saylor for being so willing to volunteer. And I hope to connect with you guys next week when we start, when we will continue to work with Metaphor, but we are going to take it into the dream space. So I need a dream snippet from someone, and I need someone to be willing to volunteer because we are going to do dream interpretation. Okay, that's it. That's all I have. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll see you next week, hopefully.